So, hi. I'm very happy to see you. I'm excited to start very soon our online class together. But before we do that, I thought I might take the chance and have a very quick, introductory talk to that. Because I do realize, like all of us, that we're living in very surreal times these days. We have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. A lot of people are struggling, be it families or single parents with their children, not knowing where to put them. A lot of freelancers in the artistic scene who suddenly, from one day to the other, are losing all their contracts. Bars and restaurants who suddenly don't have any income anymore. We all know that. We all know that it's challenging times and difficult times. Some of us even have friends or relatives who are affected and who are in hospital and who have to be taken care of. So I think if there's definitely one thing that we can take away from these challenging times is to realize what's important in life and to realize what also are the values and what are the things we want to put our attention to and how do we actually want to be as human beings. So I really want to thank all of those lovely people who have sent supportive messages and who have a lot of understanding and patience with the situation. But it's also really beautiful to see how this allows us to grow together, how this allows us to support each other. So I think it's these times are beautiful moments to be able to reflect a little bit more and to actively construct the kind of world that we want to be living in now, and especially also once this is over. So, coming to the classes, I had some skepticism about doing online classes. So, having said that, the thing is that right now we cannot change anything about it. That's just how it is. Okay? We do not know when this is going to change, when we will be able to do group classes again. I know that many of you love the opportunity to be together in a group, to be there with your partner, with your friends, to enjoy the hugs, to enjoy the contact with other people. I know that, everybody knows that. But I think what is helpful at this moment is to not insist on something that is impossible. So I think right now we need to accept the limitations that we have and see how we can do nevertheless. Sometimes we need to think outside the box just a little bit. Sometimes we need to think outside the box a little bit more. But it does not mean that people have to stop. Of course, it's everybody's choice, Again, we want to be reflecting these days what we really want to do in life, what is, our main focus, what are the things we love the most. So everybody's free to choose whatever they want. But what I would like to draw your attention to is the following. When we learn to dance Kizomba, there are so many different aspects of learning how to dance, not just Kizomba in general, and all those things are interrelated. So for instance, we have steps, of course. Okay, many of you in the beginning when you learn steps, you learn combination. This is in connection with building your muscle memory, okay, to prepare your body to do certain movements, to recognize them more easily, to develop a certain hearing, an ear, to detect differences in the music, to detect differences in the rhythm. That brings us to expressing the rhythm differently in your body. That brings us to develop our musicality. That brings us to develop our style, our technique, our leading and following, etc., etc., etc. So, what I would like to think of when you learn Kizomba is all these different aspects. They form like a lot of interactive points, okay? So if you develop one of those, the other's going to get stronger. So I'm going to put some more links in between that because this is going to happen when you learn how to dance. So most of the time what we do in our school, we put a lot of emphasis in leading and following, especially in the beginners classes, okay? So in our classes, we will do a lot of this. Yeah, contact with the other person and learning how to lead and to follow. But if this now falls flat, it does not mean that you cannot learn a lot of different other things. Style, expression, rhythm, musical hearing, musicality, even step patterns. Even step patterns you can do by yourself. So I would like to encourage you to think that you're not stuck to one certain thing that is in your head right now that you're going to lose. just for this situation. No. You can gain so many other things because you can focus on different aspects right now. So this is a chance to develop something that before that you wouldn't even think about developing. I would also like to point out that, there is a lot of classes, especially when you go to festivals, or even, there's a lot of different schools who, for instance, put a lot of attention on doing, let's say, step combinations, okay, over here. They will rehearse steps and steps and steps, and you will hardly have any leading and following at all. So just because you're used to do a lot of leading and following doesn't mean that these other are not valid, all right? So just to explain this a little bit more, I would like to share with you like my own story from many years ago. But when I started dancing ballroom, I was 14, so it's a couple of years ago. And back in the days, we were 10 ladies or 10 girls in my high school class and 2 guys. So one would say, okay, if you have 2 guys and 10 girls, you would immediately stop to dance because it's not fun to dance alone the whole time. But I didn't want to give up just because one of the things was not in my favor, okay? So what I did immediately when I was 14, I did 5 minutes the followers steps, and then the rest of the class I was leading, okay? So that's why for me leading is something very natural, because I was pushed into that very early. But not only that, we had 1 class per week, okay? And I wanted to dance. I didn't want to do 1 hour per week. So what I did, I went home and I practiced alone. Not really alone. I practiced with my door. And I'm going to show you how I did that. For instance, we were learning jive, okay? We were learning like a turn and jive. And how did we do that? I'm going to take you over here. So just to give you an idea that you do not need a partner in order to work on your technique, okay? So by practicing these kind of things by myself, it allowed me to develop my spinning, it allowed me to realize how much energy I had to give to the door for me to go around one time. So those are all things that I incorporated in my learning from the start. And this is what helped me along the way as well, because when I was teaching, many of you know that, when we were teaching in festivals, I often had to prepare the steps by myself. And I did that in imagination, with my imaginary dance partner, literally. And so those things are opportunities for you to see Kizomba from a different angle, to train different aspects of your dance. And they will only help you in the future. They will only be in your favor. That is not something that you're losing out right now. Okay? This is something that I just wanted to share with you. Having said that, we will be finishing the series now so we can make a cut and we can start to do something new. In the future, what I have planned for you guys and ladies is specifically some series on musicality. Okay? I have a lot of ideas that I would like to share with you in online classes regarding musicality, background, music history in general. I also got quite some people who contacted me for DJ classes. So I will be thinking into that to do some online classes for people who are interested in getting into DJing. And then of course style. Jinga, lady styling, manga, men styling. So there's a lot of things that we can do actually online, and like that we would get out of the quarantine and know so much more about Kizomba than when we get into. Voila. So that was a little introduction, and see you in class. Wow.